This levee this year has been constructed with rock, not just sandbags. It is 1 inch minus rock, which is a coarse sand, if you will, and it is created by dump trucks putting the sand or rock on the ground. It is then covered with tarp, which is plastic, heavy plastic, and then covered with sandbags. So it's not really a sandbag wall. It's different construction than we've had before. Mayor
Smiley, you did meet with the National Guard today. What did officials tell you about shoring up that wall?
The National Guard and AmeriCorps both met with us and with our emergency management team. We made several decisions about how to shore it up, where to shore it up, and how high to shore it up. And then we set about prioritizing which place first. All of that action has been put in place, and when I look at these gentlemen, they smile and say, if this doesn't hold, nothing will.
Mayor, your town population's about 450, is that about right?
That is correct.
What about any evacuation orders? Are they mandatory?
No, we are not evacuating because we're not going under.
You're pretty confident of that at this point?
I am confident of that. Much more confident than I was 2 hours ago.
Why do you say that?
Because of the looks on the faces of these men as they come back and tell me what's been accomplished.
Clarksville identifies itself with its views of the Mississippi River. How would building a cement flood wall affect tourism?
Well, it would affect it in a very negative kind of way. Our town was created in 1817, and it has survived all kinds of things, from floods to fires and on up and down the spectrum. We have a very quaint, if you will, community with beautiful buildings, old buildings, and they're inhabited by artists of all kinds. We have jewelry makers, we have potters, we have Windsor chair makers, we have all kinds of artists who are here. And this community is an attraction because of them. It's also an attraction because of the river.
Mayor, you talk about that attraction. Do you have any estimate yet on the economic damage to Clarksville?
The economic for us, each time this happens, the economic impact is great, not only because of what happens within the town, but we are cut off from our main road, which is Highway 79, both from the north and the south. 79, which is scenic byway, goes through our town. It is the main entrance and the main exit, and it's flooded on both sides.
Ma'am, when's the river expected to crest?
Well, that's sort of a question at this point. We were told it crested on Sunday, but because there had been not a breach so much as the forecast dropped and said there was an overtopping of a levee north of Louisiana, and when that levee overtopped, it gave some relief. So it appeared that we were cresting at that time. But once the area behind it filled up again, then the river continued to rise, and so we had a couple of inches more than we anticipated when we got here this morning.
Mayor Smiley, we have a little less than a minute left. Is your voice being heard in Washington? Are federal officials listening when you tell them about the importance of the Mississippi River to your town and to the surrounding communities?
I certainly hope so. I was on the phone today in a conference call with a congressman, and Congressman Blunt has called. He is going to send people here tomorrow. I'm participating in the MRCTI initiative, which is the Mississippi River Cities and Towns initiative, and was in Washington just 2 weeks ago.
Ma'am, before I let you go, is this the opposite of those terrible drought conditions that we saw last summer? Are you seeing the polar opposite now?
Yes, exactly the opposite. Our farmers were in desperate situation last year because of the drought, and it appears they may have a problem this year.